All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Not Your Day Job. I have a special guest today, DJ BreYonna Beats. Appreciate you coming through.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I met you at Little Brother's Record Store Day, and it was just so many people, so many creatives out here, so I had to get you on the podcast. Are you originally from North Carolina?
I'm originally right from the south side of Raleigh. So it's funny because I was born in Providence, Rhode Island, and a lot of people don't know that about me, but the majority of my life has been in Raleigh. Like when you ask me where I'm from, I'm going to say Raleigh.
Okay. And could you describe the moment that got you into DJing?
Oh man, so that's layered. Always had a love for music. My grandmother was a soul singer. I was had one of those households like you grew up and the radio was always on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So because of that, and just like my grandfather had records, my dad had records, I eventually started collecting records as well. But it got to a point. So my son is 10 and my daughter is 19. And when she was gearing up to graduate high school, I did a reevaluation of my life. And I was like, what makes me happy? What do I want to do? And I never asked myself that question. I became a mother when I was 21. I have been working and grinding and, doing all these things just to make sure that ends were met. And I never asked myself, what do you like? And I was like, I've always wanted to try DJing. Maybe I would be good at it because I have musical knowledge. And the opportunity came along and I took a class and I've been surprised, but not really. I believe in God. I think when God puts something on your heart and when it aligns with you, things are easy and things have been easy. I'm blessed to have a wonderful day job that I love. I work in public health. So that means that when it comes to DJing, I'm blessed to take the things that mean something to me culturally, that move the culture forward, things that I feel are impactful, being able to give shine to people who wouldn't normally get it. I know that I have a very charismatic personality, but everybody doesn't have that. But that doesn't mean that they're not just as talented. So getting into DJing was for me, but really it was for me to have the platform to be able to put other people on if I, so chose. And the Durham Raleigh music scene is so fickle.
Okay. I always ask about that. How do you feel about the music scene? Okay.
So this is not my first foray into music. You have to know, I was a teenager doing street team. I was always I wanted to be an A&R when I grew up. That's what I always wanted to do.
Okay.
And then just knowing different artists and things and being around and exposed to the culture. North Carolina has such a rich tapestry almost of different artists because they all do different things. They're so talented. That's why it bothers me so much when people there's no music out here. There's no real music. And I'm you're not looking. Sure, you go to the radio, you may not get what you like, but that's being mad they don't have steak at McDonald's. You're going to have to go searching for something if it's that important to you.
Absolutely. So do you think the problem is, and I always ask this, other people have a sound that they're known for, right? People say there's an East Coast sound for New York or the West Coast, right, for Cali. Do you think that's a problem? Do you think it's just that we have so many people who are talented, but we don't really have a sound that everyone knows us for?
I don't think that's a problem. And I'm going to say that because I'm going to push back and I'm going to challenge, yeah, you have New York sound, right? But you also have Slick Rick and Jay-Z. They don't sound the same. You have Texas, but you got, or Louisiana, you got Master P, you got Cash Money. Same vein-ish. They don't sound the same. You got Beyonce and Bun B from
That's
Texas.
true.
They don't sound the same, but they're in the same music. I think if you want me to be honest about the music industry here, people are selfish. I don't mean the artists, I mean the people. People are so pressed to oh, this is the new thing. Oh, I know this and you don't know nothing about this and this is underground and stuff like that. They hold things so tightly that they're mad when an artist moves to the next level.
Gotcha.
But an artist is supposed to move to the next level. Like, that's what's it for, you
Yeah.
know? And there's a way, like, I want to say it was Fonte who said something like this. Sorry, Fonte, if I don't get it.
Yeah, no worries.
Perfectly right. He said, you know, people will be mad with you when you sell out, but you're not selling. You're mad that I'm selling out, but I want to feed my family off my art. You know, I feel like in North Carolina there is, and that it's almost also like local is a slur. A local rapper, a local singer. And to me, that's where you should be gaining your inspiration from. Do you know how hard it is to get up in front of people and perform?
Very hard.
Very hard. Like, I get stage fright, you know, before shows. And like, I hate that we don't, there's always a certain group of people I always see supporting the artists. And thank God for them, right?
Yeah.
But where are the people at that are online that are like, there's no good music, why y'all not at the show? Most of these shows are not more than $30.
I know, absolutely.
And 30 is pushing it.
Yeah.
Like, most of these shows are $10, $15.
And every time I come out to a show, I have a great time.
Exactly.
The music is great, and I meet so many people. So when people always say, people will say this for Charlotte, they will say it for Raleigh, they will say it for Durham. There's no culture. Where are the creatives? They're there.
Yeah.
You're just not going out.
You're not going out. And like, I'm not an introvert. I'm an extrovert. And I think it's pretty apparent that I'm an extrovert. But you're not going to find anything in your bedroom. You may find it online, but like, most people, when they connect to music, like truly connect to music, it's because they saw a live performance. Like, I love Beyonce. I love her to my soul. However, it wasn't until I saw her on tour, Formation Tour. I was like, oh, okay, I liked her. I loved her. But this is different to see people in their artistry and how much work goes behind these shows. North Carolina artists are not putting on janky shows. They're not.
That's
There's
true.
stage quality, there's production, there's actual quality in their music. And that's why I almost get upset when people complain about artists being too local or too whatever. What community are you supposed to support if not your own?
Yep.
Like, where are you supposed to start?
I think it's kind of the what is the old saying? It's kind of like the chicken and the egg and
Yeah.
what comes first. And I think when people try to show you a new artist, they expect them to be a certain level.
Yes.
If they're not a certain level, I'm not going to listen to them. Yet, if you ask them, do you believe that they started at that level? They will consciously say, no, they started here. I'm like, so why won't you listen and support someone here?
Right. And like, there are people that are bubbling on the cusp. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Shane Gang. I know you had done
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
music is
talked to him
amazing.
this morning,
Yeah.
right? Let me tell you something about North Carolina artists. He had a contest and he's like, if you use my song in a reel, you can win a $250 Sephora gift card. Cause I think he's getting some backing now, which I'm really proud of him. He's super talented.
Absolutely.
I don't care about the gift card. Yes, I do. But I do love a little makeup. But immediately, me and Demola had shot some new promo pictures for me. Demola encouraged me to take B-roll with my own phone. I took a snippet of that, put the song over it, put it up on the reels. It's got 1,000 views. That's 1,000 people that even if they only listen for a millisecond, oh, who is this? It's a shame. Okay. Mental note, store it later. Or let me go look into this artist. That is how you build things. Like when people are bubbling. Like I feel like he's an artist that's about to go like far. I do. He's talented. He's driven. He has work ethic. He's polite. Like, you don't get a lot of that. Like, he doesn't have
Absolutely.
an ego, none of that. So if I can push the culture forward by helping push his song forward, I'm doing my job as a DJ, as a person, as a member of the creative community of North Carolina.
Yeah, and when you go into that, I had this question about, you know, between like the 80s and early 2000s, DJing was such a pivotal part of music, and less so now because everything is more digital. But do you see a resurgence of people finding respect for the art of DJing and how important it is to music?
So as someone who has grown up around DJs and seen DJs my whole life, it did not get the respect. You have people carrying crates and doing all of this, people bumping the table, pushing the equipment. You know what I'm saying? We are the lowliest of, because we bring the music. At the end of the day, people don't care about the music per se or the DJ. They care about the vibe. They care about the curation of the good time. They don't want to stop dancing. That's all they care about. What I will say now is like, everybody's like, oh, everybody's a DJ. You know how expensive this shit is? To be a casual DJ?
Absolutely.
Like, and if 100 million people wanted to be DJs, there's one Bree.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I don't get discouraged by things like that. And like, I think now people are starting to respect the artistry as more people are trying to, like, oh, this is hard. This is not, you know?
I think people are prisoners of the moment because you see DJs on social media like yourself and others, and especially, what is it? It's the one where they're kind of like an elevators behind them. That's one style. Mm-hmm. There's the
boiler
one where
rooms.
they're in the boiler room, the loft. And I think they think it's easy because it seems easy to the eye, but they don't know the work that goes into it.
You have to know that anything you put work into is going to look easy from the outside because you put in the work, you know? And I see a lot of these boiler rooms and things like that. I'm not a person to hate on anybody making art, but I am going to say, like, come on now. Some of those people don't even be pushing buttons. They're not moving anything. They're not doing anything. They're playing mixes that have already been mixed.
Yeah.
They're playing mashups that were created by other people. I don't play mashups by other people, honestly. I can do a mashup live.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not to brag or whatever. It's to say, like, I'm not stealing someone's art and taking credit for it.
Yeah.
There's one thing to like play mashups and, you know, because I know a lot of DJs do that, but they're very upfront. If they're good DJs, like, oh, that was mashup. Like,
yeah.
You know?
How important is it to learn to blend? Do you think that's important for people? Like, do people value that a lot more now?
When you say blend, what do you mean?
Just the art of making those mashups, the artistry that says, I think this song and this song goes together, and actually doing it live. Well,
let's talk about the artistry, because some of these songs don't belong together. Let's start there. Secondly, how do I want to say this? The formula for mashups. People like nostalgia. People need to feel something familiar to tolerate something new. I have no problem with mashups because a lot of times that's introducing people to music they may not have normally heard. You know, like K-Tronada, right? Lord, what is her name? Teedra Moses. No, it's not Teedra Moses, is it?
It is. Yeah. K-Tronada did that mix.
Yes, K-Tronada did that mix. Yeah. That's technically that's a remix, but I'm gonna call it a mashup for all intents and purposes. Do you think that song, that song went triple platinum in my home? Mm-hmm. But do you think that song would have the life that it has in 2025, being a song that's over 15 years old at this point, if K-Tronada would not have remixed it? I believe in breathing new life into things. I think mashups are a way to breathe new life into things. I think we get away from the plot when, first of all, we got to start gatekeeping as Black people, capital B Black. We have to start gatekeeping our culture. Our culture, things that belong to us. I'm serious about that because there's nothing that infuriates me more as a DJ than seeing other Black DJs and creators work really hard, put in the time, put in the effort, the dedication, spend the hours practicing, and then some white creator, some white girl comes along and because she's cute, her TikTok's viral. She didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that she would be the one stealing from, like, to me, it's very reminiscent of like the early 60s when you had white bands covering Black artists.
Absolutely.
So I think it's about being authentic. And I think the best thing that to support creators, especially DJs, listen to their mixes. Like, I put out mixes on YouTube, on SoundCloud. I'm not just mixing, because I put them out as practice, and they won't be perfect all the time because I'm a growing artist. But if you want to support somebody, that's how you support them, not just by going out, because a lot of people don't go out.
Yeah.
You know, there are other ways to support your local DJ.
Absolutely. And when you started to get into your DJing career, did you already have a genre or genres of music that you wanted to be known for, or did you just say let it flow and it'll find you?
I am R&B. I have that event. But R&B, shout out to Leah, because she made that name for me.
I like it.
I'm trying to think of the way that I want to say this to like, R&B is a lover sport. It is not always soft and tender, but there's feeling, there's yearning, there's passion. We've gotten away from that, you know? And even though there are a lot of artists still making music like that, I wanted to be someone who showcased. DJs used to break records. That's what I want to do. Like, Carlita Duran, extremely talented, one of my good friends, literally one of my girls. We just went on a date like a couple of weeks back. And I play her in my sets. You don't need to know who the artist is to know that the artist is talented. You know, that's my job as a DJ, to introduce you to things that you may not have heard before. You know, everybody's playing Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? Baby, y'all not tired? Y'all not tired of the same things? You know, if I can give you the same feelings, get the same people on the dance floor, and we just do something a little different, expand your palette a little bit, expand your horizons.
I think a lot of people too, you talked about nostalgia. A lot of people are really trapped into their favorite songs.
You want to hear my theory?
Okay.
You are trapped musically in the era that you were the happiest, when you didn't pay bills or you were in college or whatever. Even if you had struggles during the time, your coming of age is the music. For me, that's what you get. Well, I'm different because I like music from all eras, but I will say, like, for example, a place that's like really nostalgic for me is New Jack Swing. Why? That's when my mama got ready to go to the club with. That's what was in my house when I was growing up. Jodeci, I'll Be Sure, artists like that, yearners, singers, beggars. That's the music that was imprinted on me because my mama listened to it. And all her fly friends that I wanted to be like, she didn't have many friends, but like my aunties and them, like, yeah. I was like, man, it's so cool. Like, that's what I want to do. But like, even though R&B is like one of my favorite things to spin, I'm a turntablist. And that essentially means I like classic hip hop. Now, my classic hip hop may not sound like your classic hip hop, but like, let's be real, we're in 2025. Cash Money is classic hip hop at this point.
Yeah, it's shifting.
It is shifting.
Yeah.
Now, I could do all that. I could go from Rakim. I could do Beastie Boys. I could do everything because I know music. So, but what I enjoy is not necessarily a genre as much as it is the ability to be free. What if I want to skip around? I have been playing a lot of house music at my sets because house music belongs to us, you know, and I like dancers. People dance when they come to see me, you know, and there are other DJs, most of the DJs in my collective, shout out to New York Divinity, people dance. And like, that's what people want to feel like. Life is hard, man. Like, you go out, you spend your hard-earned money, you should be dancing.
Absolutely. And do you think, because you talk about the freedom to play what music you want, and you mentioned Kaytranada, and I actually had Kaytranada marked down in my notes because I remember an interview that he had where they were talking about his music, mainly like electronic dance, and he said, but at his heart, at his core, he really loved hip hop. He's produced hip hop records, but he's really known for a certain type of music. Do you think as a DJ, you have to pick a lane to be successful? You
don't have to pick a lane to be successful, but you are going to have to pick a lane if you want to be commercial. I'll say this because I don't really have fears of like people not booking me and things like that, because I know my audience and I'll do well where I'm supposed to do well. A lot of DJs get pigeonholed into doing a certain type of music because the venue owners want a certain type of music. I've been places, and I know other DJs have been places, not too black, not too much.
I've heard that before.
Not too hip hop, you know, not too this, not too that. And I'm like, babes, do I look like I'm about to blast Sexy Red? You're safe. Like, no shade to her at all. She, you know, she's fun in the club.
Entertainer. I went to what was it, Dreamville Fest, and I was like very entertaining. That wouldn't be my thing on a daily basis.
Exactly. Like, right. That's not what I'm playing in my house. But like, I just think it's crazy because it's funny hearing you say that. Like, do you have to pick a lane? No, the lane's picked for us. if you want to be a working DJ, most of the time there are very few venues that are going to be like, have a blast, boo. Like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Most venues are like, hey, can we keep it to this? And I kind of feel like outside of like the parameters, like if you want clean music or whatever, like I understand that. But I kind of feel like it's insulting because being a DJ is not just spinning records. It's understanding a crowd. It's understanding flow. We have to move the crowd. Like, it's not like you've been places where there are DJs that are playing records. You're like, why are you playing this?
Absolutely.
Like nobody, like everybody's dancing. You throw on a slow song or something.
Or certain people walk in, get a drink, and then they walk right back out.
Exactly. Like, and I know creatively the DJs that I talk to, which, you know, is a majority of DJs in Raleigh, they would love to have a place where they could go and be free and do this and do that. But at the end of the day, it's a job. You want to get paid. You want to deliver good service. You don't want bad reviews. So you have to play what they ask you to play. Yeah.
And there's a lot of time and dedication, as you mentioned, that goes into what you do. I mean, the level of knowledge you need to have of music and trying to fit for a crowd. Can you talk about some of the challenges, I guess, you've faced? I know you've talked about some, but like really specifically, what would you say is kind of like your top 3 challenges that you really...
Top 3 challenges of being a DJ in this city. Number 3, I'm a woman. That is hard enough. Not to say like I am blessed to have amazing people, men DJs around me, Jimmy, Jarv, Professor X, Jamar, like Mikey Sharks, like amazing DJ Billy Bill, who also owns the record store we were at. That's why I was there. Amazing DJs, right? There are certain roadblocks they're never gonna have because they're men. And this is a boys' game. I think the thing that bothers me is that it doesn't matter how talented I am. I'm not gonna get booked for certain things because I've rejected advances. I'm going to have to be worried about my safety. Walk into my car late at night. And yeah, of course, men have to be worried too. I'm not saying that. But like, I'm vulnerable carrying all my equipment to my car in the dark. You know, like those are things that men don't even think twice about. Number 2, the lack of quality sound at venues, to me, is a challenge. Because imagine you have the best spin of your life. But the speakers are blinking, like the speakers, like you're in the red.
Yeah.
That means your levels are up way too high. You're worried about blowing speakers. Nobody can hear anything. It's distorted. And a lot of these bars, like you have to bring your own sound. Like
I was going to ask that, like, is it most of the time that you need to bring your own?
Yes.
Okay.
So like, again, like I'll bring that to number 1 is cost. You know, everybody wants quality, but not understanding how expensive.
Oh yeah, one big JBL speaker. I mean, my friend used to DJ, and it was like, I think it was like a big one. I was like between $500 to $800.
And mind you, JBL is not even like a professional enough brand.
Yeah.
That's more considered like houseware brand.
Yeah.
So professional speakers, like I'm about to upgrade mine, and the ones I'm looking at are between $350, $500. You know,
Yeah.
my board was, and I've upgraded my board now once, $1,300. Like, buying music, I buy music. Like, it's ethical to buy
Yeah.
music. To me, it's a slap in the face of the artists that spend so much time producing and making these pieces. I don't care what level they're at. The music industry is not the same. Record labels are not the same. People are not getting the same off of streams. People are barely eating off streams. I'm not going to then turn around and rip your song. Like, I just don't believe in that unless it's just not available. Like, then I will. Because some artists that are so obscure or so that they're just not available like that. But spending $1.50 a song, I mean, and I belong to a record pool, so it's $35 a month.
Okay.
To be in the record pool where you can download songs, and there's no guarantee that things are available, you know, so you have to source them. Like, it's expensive.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. When I lived in Orlando and I was, you know, young, going out to the clubs all the time, meeting some of the club owners, and DJs were saying, we also have to use certain services because we have to clear those tracks or else we could get sued.
I don't have to worry about that. And DJs personally, don't have to worry about that as much as venues do.
Okay.
So that's like a venue thing, not really a DJ thing. Like
Okay.
a lot of times, especially if you're just gonna have music playing, you have to license that music.
Yeah. And I thought, I didn't know if that fell back on you, the venue, or if the.
No, not
Okay.
usually. It's usually the responsibility of the venue.
Got you. Has anything surprised you along your journey?
That your friends are not your fans. And I love it, actually. I don't look at anybody sideways for not supporting me. Like, that's like close to me and stuff, because most of the time my set started 11, or 8 or whatever. People got kids, all types of things. What surprises me every time is I'll get somebody that will come up to me after a set and be like, you did so good. I haven't heard that song since then. Like, man, I haven't had a good time like this since. That surprises me every time. And it's not because I don't think that I'm good. It's more because I'm now attached to somebody's core memory. Do you remember when we went out dancing at Primrose? Like, oh man, 2024 or 2025, that was, oh man, I'm look back on that like we were so young or we were so turned or whatever. I am forever embedded into that memory. And that's special to me. So that surprises me when people like care enough to like genuinely share like that your music or the way you play music affected them or they enjoyed you.
Absolutely. I love that. And the DJ booth is kind of like it's the hottest spot at the event, at the club. And
the boys are the baddies.
And here's one question. It's a fun question. Has anything crazy happened around the DJ booth when you're DJing?
Oh my gosh.
And did you ever have to kick someone out?
I've never had to kick anybody out, but I'm very protected. Like, my folk don't play about me. Like, I don't have to worry about that. I've gotten weirdos, but most of the time people will be like, hey, that's enough. Because, people trying to start a whole conversation with you when it takes all your concentration to DJ, it's always going to be wild to me. But the culture of the DJ booth, I like when people are behind me when I'm spinning. It feeds the energy that you can't, a lot of times you can't hear the dance floor. Like, you can hear but you can't hear it. And sometimes the lights will be so bright that you can't see the dance floor either, depending on where you are.
Gotcha.
Having people in the booth grooving with you lets you know that you're still hitting the marks. And it's fun. I joke with my male friends, like, baddies only. If y'all can have women up in that booth shaking what their mama gave them or whatever, and I be one of the women in the booth sometimes too, I want the baddest. I want the baddest in the squad. I want you to come up here, put your sunglasses on, look cute, your little jewelry shining and stuff, do a little bop. Don't get up here and don't do nothing. Don't get up here and not dance.
See, you're answering my next question. I was like, when DJ BreYonna Beats is up there, what is the etiquette around the booth? And you're pretty much answering that question.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
And don't stress me out. Like, but I've never had the experience where because most of the people you see in the booth are other DJs. So we know. Like, that's all people like, oh, it's 9 people in the booth. It's like, yes, because we're all DJs and we're all cheering each other on. Like, we are, oh man, Jarv, DJ Jarv had an amazing set Monday. Oh my gosh, at Split. He went bananas. And I'm sitting beside him just like, oh, okay. This is what we're doing. Like, Damola, who is primarily I'm a piano and Afrobeats DJ. Same party, threw on hip hop, rap, Kendrick Lamar. I was like, oh, okay, sister, I see you. Like, that's the type of feedback that we want as DJs, because it's a hard job. You on your feet for hours at a time. You can't go to the bathroom. Like, you can't mingle. You can't. That's our socialization, because we don't get to go out very often. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the community. You're talking about all the DJs that are supporting you. You go support them. How important is community in the DJing community?
Oh my gosh. Prime example. DJ Billy Bill, who I have to give flowers and respect to. Plum Crazy is an OG club from Raleigh, like in the 90s. He was the house DJ for Plum Crazy. He opened a record store off of New Bern Avenue that has been open continuously for over 20 years. That's my community. I met him by happenstance. I can call him right now and be like, hey, I need help with a transition. I'm not sure about this record or this record. Do you have this record? And I got you. Don't worry about it. Professor X, I can call him. He actually taught me to DJ. I can call him and be like, X, can you help me with this transition? How do you go from this to this? How do you go? I mean, I'm still learning. Everybody's still learning. But if you don't have that community and you're going to like dry ass YouTube or something to learn something, it's not going to hit the same because you can't ask follow-up questions. And then you don't have someone holding you accountable like, hey, did you get it?
Yeah.
Did you figure it out? You know, and you also don't have the encouragement like, oh, I heard you. You sound so much better. Like, wow, like I can tell you've been practicing. Community is everything. Every single gig that I booked is because someone else would be like, ask Bree. You should get Bree. Most of the gigs that I booked, I want to say 90% is word of mouth through other DJs.
That's amazing. And you talk about your community, especially around here in the Triangle area. Do you perform in other places in North Carolina or even outside of North Carolina?
So I performed in Atlanta. I was in Vegas for New Year's for a wedding. I performed there. I performed in Charlotte before, like, what was it? Greensboro. As a matter of fact, Gatekeep, one of my favorite gigs, was Greensboro, Fayetteville. So I've been all around North Carolina. I guess my thing is, I love my city. And I think people think the pinnacle of making it is making it outside of your city. To me, the pinnacle of making it is being able to put other people on in your city. You're never going to embarrass me by calling me local. Like, you're not. Like, this is my town. Like, this is what I like. This is who I love. This is the community that I want to give to and give back to. So yeah, like I haven't been many other places, but I'm content with that. And God will carry me where I need to go. And He'll make it easy. You know, every gig that I've had out of town has been easy and fun. You know, I don't want to get to the point where I'm chasing the next goal so bad that I can't enjoy the journey.
Yeah. And what has been your favorite performance so far?
My last R&B, which was the 10th at Congress, I got to go so deep in the crates. Like I played I'll Be Sure This Love Is So. That's one of my songs like that I just like, oh, like ultimate yearning. Like I get to go places and show people different things that like mean something to me, but they may not have favorite artists never heard the song. Most people are single people. That's what I call them. Whatever came out on the radio, whatever they heard on single, you know, we don't buy physical CDs or anything anymore. I do. I'm a big believer in physical media over digital media.
Absolutely.
Just for preservation and record keeping. But like that was I want to say that Gatekeep. Shout out to everybody at Gatekeep. Gatekeep was one of my, first of all, the recording and how they did it was so fire. You'd never know from the video, it was raining and we were outside and we still had a blast. And like Gatekeep is one of those things, nobody's going to tell you, oh, don't play this or don't play that or don't be too black. I was R&B, hip hop, house, Jersey club, Baltimore, like all over the place.
Wow. Yeah.
Liquor house music. Like those are the gigs I'm like, yeah, like I feel full when I'm done.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And how has social media affected like DJing? Has it really helped expand it a lot? Because I know that sometimes I come home, my girl has some DJ on the TV on like YouTube, you know, but like how has social media affected your DJing career?
It's a gift and a curse. For me personally, I'm not, like I will post things on my social media. I'm not caught in numbers. If I made the art, I made the art. And now understanding it's a blessing for me to be able to say that I have a job that pays me well enough that DJing could be a hobby. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's a hobby, it's a passion, but like I'm not depending on numbers. I'm not depending on, and I feel like it gives people an inflated sense of self. You get 1 million views on something, but can you book out a show? It doesn't always translate. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had sold out shows and 10 views on a video.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it's reality altering, because social media is just a small microcosm of who's actually out there. There are plenty of people that don't even participate in social media, not like that.
Yeah.
And like when I see people that are like so hell bent on streams and views and everything, I'm like, why did you create it? Like, honestly, why did you create it? Like, when I had my podcast, sometimes the show would get 50 listens. I don't care, because why did I create it? For the art. I didn't create it for the consumption. The art is for me.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel about social media. Like, I don't get too deep into it. Of course, you can't survive without it. You know, you got to post your shows. You got to, you know, so people just will know that it's going on. But I'm not dependent on that being the only source, because it's just not reliable.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some DJs that were really good in real life. I forget her full name. It was Uncle something, and I forget what country in Africa.
I know exactly what
you know who I'm talking about. And sure, social media made her popular, but when she told her story on a podcast, it was, you know, I was just getting into DJing. My boy was like, hey, I need you to fill in for me. She's like, I'm kind of scared. She does that party. It goes viral from that clip, but she was really DJing. The streams were just a secondary thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so I definitely agree with that. The other thing that I think is a really good point is you mentioned why you're doing it. Right. If you only get 50 listens, are you still going to do it? Is it about money, or is it the giving back to your community, your culture? And for me, when I started this podcast a long time ago, when I was younger, it was just, I love to do it. I want to hear people's stories. It's still the same thing today. I'm not out here trying to say, how quickly can I get to a Spotify deal and make $100 million? Because I think a lot of those people try to get people to say clickbaity things.
They do.
And when I first started this, I had people say, oh, we'll see. Like, I'll take a look. And I knew why. I didn't feel no type of way, because they don't know how I'm approaching this.
Right.
And so once they start to see the type of questions I was asking people who are willing to be first, I'm like, no, I want you to showcase you and tell your truth and tell your story, because I actually love the story. I'm not trying to get you to say, what about this beef between?
Yeah,
I don't care.
And like, I'll put my little tinfoil hat on for a second and say, like, the way that social media is right now is literally training people to not have attention spans.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you're training people not to have attention spans, but then you're asking people to take in content long form.
Yep.
You may not have the streams because, baby, they may not be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like I as a person who cannot sit there and listen to 2 hours worth of podcasts, but I can do an hour, I can do a 45-minute, you know, or I can break it up or however, but people are going to have to, like, just relating the streams and everything, people are going to have to get comfortable with long form content, because we cannot continue to worship the soundbite. Yeah.
And I blend between both, you know, I have the long form. That's the main thing. I would love people to watch the whole thing, but I always cut the clip. Right. And I try to cut the clip good enough to where you get the story and maybe it entices you to.
Right. You got to do both.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're both valuable.
Yeah.
But let's not get to the point as people where we don't have the attention span to sit and listen to something, especially when it comes to art. Like, art feeds creativity. You know, how many times are you inspired from listening to other podcasts, or, you know, like, man, I want to try that, or,
absolutely,
you know, whatever. And I feel like we as a public are selling ourselves short if we're not willing to consume content in long form.
Absolutely. And, you know, along this journey, kind of going back to kind of like lessons you've learned, but also, is there any advice that you would give to someone starting out becoming a DJ?
Don't start on a beginner board. You're wasting your money. No, but seriously, if you want to DJ, go a level up. You don't have to get the most expensive board. Don't get the lowest board. That's where I started at. I had a Rev 1, and I grew out of my Rev 1 within 3 months. And it was a grip to replace it, when I could have just spent the money originally on a higher level board and had more time with it.
And I'm a technical person. I know people may not be that technical, but like, what were the main like key differences between like an entry level board and something? Yeah.
So you got most boards, most controllers come with 2 turntables, and then they have different knobs. The knobs control highs, mids, and lows. You got your fader that goes from one record to another one. You got your effects board. I grew out of the Rev 1 because I was literally having to do effects on my computer. I couldn't just press a pad button. I only had like a certain number of effects I could do during a transition, and I'm not a throw horns. That's not me. No shade to the DJs who do it because it's a club DJ style. But even if I am in the clubs, I like for people to hear that my transitions are clean. I don't want to cover it up with a whole bunch of horns or a whole bunch of tags. Being able to fit them on my board so I don't have to then go back to my computer like, let me, do this. Also just being able to like, as I'm learning to scratch, having a big enough platter that it feels like something adjustable so I can adjust the weight or the drag of it. I didn't have any of that with my Rev 1.
Gotcha. And do you think that there are still DJs that use physical records?
Oh, there are plenty.
Okay.
I love them. Y'all a T. Love y'all. I'm not doing all that. Not that I can't, but like, do you understand? If you are DJing vinyl, you have to bring every single record with you. You have to bring 2 turntables with you. You have to bring the controller that sits in the middle with you. You have to bring your speakers. You have to do that is a labor, right? To mobile DJ. If you're in a house, cool. Like I have DJ vinyl before and I love the feel of it. I collect records. I have the vinyl, but I'm not going to risk injuring my equipment. I'm not going to risk losing records, things like that.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, because people get sticky fingers. Like I'm not doing all of that when I can have my laptop and my controller.
Absolutely.
And a lot of controllers, like Demola has one, she only needs her USB. The screen and everything is already in the controller. Now, I will say, a lot of people get flack like, oh, you're not a real DJ if you're not, especially on Threads. My God, like you're not a real DJ if you don't go like and howl in the moon at 6 p.m. every night. Like it's crazy. It's ridiculous. I feel like all you need to be a real DJ is to have a real love of the music. Like that's it. And like I'm always looking funny at people who do vinyl, who look at people on controllers or whatever, like, And I'm looking funny at people on controllers who are looking at people on vinyl. Like we are all a part of the same art. There are pros and cons to everything. Like, and then it blows my mind that it feels like DJing is the only thing where people get mad for the technology continuing to be better. Because are you mad at producers because they're not physically hitting the 808s on the board or on the drum? Are you mad because it's in Fruity Loops now? Like, or it's in FL Studio? Yep. No, you're not. You're like, man, that's innovation. How come everybody else gets the innovation, the ability to innovate, but DJs? All of a sudden, we're traders if we want to upgrade our equipment or whatever to make things easier.
I think it's more about skills and technique. If the mix is great, the party's jumping. I mean, why would you care?
I don't care what you're DJing on. If you don't know your music, if you don't know your beat matching, if you don't know, your Camelot system, you don't know that, you're falling flat.
Yeah. I mean, I work as a software engineer and I tell people all the time, it's really great to work on really big apps, go outside and see people using them. Does that person care how you built that app? No,
people do not care how the sausage is made.
They do not care. It's like, so if they're going to come to your party, they want to know that the mix is good, the music is right. They don't know what a Rev 1 is.
They don't. they don't know. And that's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to dance. It is our job to take everything off your mind so you dance. That's why when DJs get in these wars with each other about what's real DJing and what's not, and like there's like a hot debate on the sync button. The sync button just basically, when you press sync on both sides, means that it's going to line up. You can still be off. Even using your sync, you still need your ear. You still need to count in at 8. Like you still have to understand. Like a lot of these shortcuts are only shortcuts if you're willing to learn. the proper way to do things. You know, like there's no magic button that's going to make you an amazing DJ.
Right.
There's no amazing technology that's going to like take you from beginner level to expert. It's practice. It's actually knowing your music. Like that's the only thing that's going to get you there.
Absolutely. And I don't think I asked you this before, but how long have you been DJing?
So I have been DJing since last November outside the house. I had dibbled and dabbled, but I never thought I was like good enough to like call myself a DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm starting to realize is like, I'm not ashamed that I may not be the best. I'm actually excited. There's somewhere to grow to. Like I do this for the first of all, you have to understand that outside of the love of music, I'm preserving culture. I'm keeping the receipts. You know what I mean? Like that's why I do this. And a part of that is continuing to dedicate myself to my craft. I practice 3-4 times a week. You know, sometimes I could practice 9-10 times a week. Even if it's just a 30-minute set in my living room, my board is up. You know, like I haven't been doing it that long, but I'm dedicated to taking feedback. I don't get offended at all unless, let's talk about this. People do things to women that they never do to men.
You can talk about it.
I've had DJs that I've never met a day in my life come touch my board. You need to do this. You need to do that. In set, when I'm DJing, you'd never do that to a man. I've seen it on social media several times. Like I've never had something that was that severe, and I'm pretty outspoken. Like you need to get off, you need to get away from me. But I just saw on social media, I think Demola shared it. This man came and like was messing with her fader, like, oh, I don't like the way you're doing it. As a female DJ, you would not do that to a man because a man would slap the shit out of you. But if I gotta worry like, how big is this dude? Can my brother take him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many things that sometimes you just end up being quiet. Like, I hate that.
That's really insane. And you're right. You're absolutely right. There's certain things in every single industry, especially a lot of industries that are male dominated, where if women try to speak up or have an opinion about something, there's got to be something wrong with it. And my thing is like, we're all trying to grow. It doesn't really matter. Women.
I'm gonna put it like that. I am very fortunate to surround myself, and I will speak specifically to the Black community. I am so fortunate. I have so many Black men in my life that are smart and kind and caring, and they look out for me. I'm blessed to have that. But for every one of them, it's 2 men out there that are challenging me just because. It's like the band t-shirt thing. Okay, you're wearing a band t-shirt. Name 3 songs by the band. It's that type of thing. It is like this
I hate that.
immortal need to like prop yourself up on the lack of knowledge that you perceive that a woman has. It's crazy to me. And also men don't act like that with other men. You would never see a man go up to another man, name 3 songs from this band. Like, I've been a fan of Little Brother since their inception. Like, literally. Like, I actually dated somebody that was like, went to Central around the time they were forming it. And like, I've always go, and I had on a Little Brother t-shirt at Harris Teeter. Do you know a man asked me, oh, I know you don't know their music. Why would you say that to me? Like, why? Even if I didn't.
Especially being Little Brother, like even on a mainstream level, a lot of people don't know their name. Like if I just ask some people,
it's a very niche thing.
So the fact that you have that shirt on, I'm like, oh, I know you know.
Right.
I know you know.
I know you're at least a fan.
Absolutely.
Even if you just name Loving It doesn't matter because my brothers are getting a sale.
Yep.
Like, but that's what I mean about like men challenging women. And it's odd because I don't act like that. Like if you ask, like, I'm so loving, I don't participate in the gender wars. I don't. Like, we are a community and we all we got.
Yeah.
Now, do I know who to keep on the outside? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But in my community, I don't play like that. Like, I don't.
No.
So.
And I believe in, we all help each other grow.
We do.
And I remember doing photography and videography when I was in Orlando. and there was a woman who came to a photo shoot meetup at the studio I worked out of, and I could see her vision. I could see it, and I was like, the lighting or certain techniques were maybe a little bit off. And we talked a little bit, and I realized most of the male photographers probably were more technical on the camera and all the different specifications, but I saw a lot of the women photographers had better eyes.
Yeah.
So when I helped her and I said, hey, do this trick. I have a Sony, you have a Sony, do this, you can preset settings. Came to the studio one day, set up some lighting. She started getting hang of it. And next thing you know, I saw her pictures coming out. I said, I can't even touch
You're
that.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Amazing.
Prime example, right? I needed to take new promo pictures. Every time you book a gig, they're like, can we have a picture for the flyer? I love my picture. Slim from Slim the Creative, or the Creative Slim, took my first set of pictures. Actually, one of my other homegirls took my first set of pictures. Then Slim took my last year, like early last year. Monday, Demola took my new pictures.
I was seeing it. I saw the reel.
No shade or anything, because everybody's talented. Like Slim, chef's kiss. I didn't have to explain my vision to Demola. Demola has a softness to her that echoes my softness. So it's like, okay, all right, cool. Whereas you might have to explain like what you're looking for somebody else. Men are very, even creative mindedly, they are very straight, very, very technical. I'm gonna get this right. The lighting's gonna be perfect. Where women are like, how do you feel? How do you want these pictures to feel? How do you want your body to feel? Like, do you want to feel free in a space? You want to feel like polished, professional? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just different viewpoints. And I think there's value to both of them. But like working with Demola, like I felt beautiful. It's hard as fuck to pose.
It is.
It's a pretty photogenic person.
Yep.
It is so hard. Like, and she give me reminders, and Slim did the same thing. So like soften your face, you know, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, things like that. Like you don't get in front of the picture and just start, you know, like it doesn't work. Like I didn't know it didn't work like that until I had to say it.
Yeah.
Because I think all of it's kind of pretentious, like at the end of the day.
Well, of course.
But like I like it though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but like you just like, oh, I have a photo shoot. So they're like, okay, girl. Like,
yeah. But you know, one person I had on was my friend BreYonna. She was on there. She's a model. She has modeled for different photographers, and it's something about a special relationship with a photographer who can understand your vision, understand kind of where you're comfortable, where you're not comfortable, having someone comfortable to work with. All those different things matter. But I believe because a lot of things have been male dominated and through a male gaze, then you have women come in and give you something totally different.
Right.
I mean, and it's just...
And I feel like that with music too, right? I say all the time, I don't do top fives. The reason I don't do top fives, I'm not finna argue with you. Like, top five, do you understand how regional music is?
Right.
And let's par off from that. Music is regional. Were you a teenage girl in the 90s or the 2000s, or a teenage boy in the 90s and 2000s? Your view is going to be different.
Very different.
Like, I mean, we had so much music.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's like, oh, top 5 R&B singers, men are naming like, oh, you know, Luther Vandross. I'm like, Brandy. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the voice, but not only the voice, what she meant to Black girls in my age. Like everything is regional. Everything depends on how you grow up, where you grew up, what sex you are. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Representation matters.
Representation matters. So then when you get out here as a creative, like noticing the nuances of how men and women do things differently, not saying that one is bad or one is wrong or anything, but just there's just a certain softness in women, and there's a certain technicality, and that's in the forefront in a lot of men's work. You know, that's what I've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one question I always like to ask people at the end, and where do you see DJ BreYonna Beats 5-10 years from now? I like to ask far out and not be prisoner of the moment and say, do you have a vision for yourself 5 to 10
Creating
years?
opportunities for other DJs. I'm a project manager by trade. I run behind the scenes very well. I went to my DJ class and took over the DJ class and said, no, y'all not doing it right. I don't like this. Like, I'm very assertive when it comes to handling business. Do I love it? Yes. Will I walk away from this if I feel like I'm ever to the point where it just does not serve me anymore? Absolutely. Now, do I see that happening? Absolutely not. But my heart, where my heart is to make sure that the underdog wins it. I want to eventually have a reputation that's so big that other women DJs come to me and say, I really want to get on. I don't know where to start. I want to help them navigate spaces so they don't have to go through the tribulations that I went through or the trials that I went through. I don't believe that you are like, what does it kill you makes you stronger? Black women have been through enough. I don't feel like they need that kind of trauma. If I can make the landing soft for you, I'm going to make the landing soft. That's where I see myself. Now, creatively, I would love, my dream is to DJ in Trinidad because I'm like, West Indian. Like, I want to connect there. I also want to go overseas. Sandy was just in Sweden. Sandy had a gig in Sweden. That's DJ. She's in my collective. She's amazing. She's awesome. You know why she had a gig in Sweden? Because she asked. Those are the type of connections I want to make. I want to be, my collective is a group of fearless women that don't mind ruffling feathers, that don't mind, because we're doing something that's so revolutionary. When have you ever heard of women DJs coming together to form a collective? You haven't. I want to carry that until the wheels fall off. So in 5 to 10 years, I see myself firmly planted with my collective, still having events that are culturally significant, whether they be in Raleigh or anywhere else. That's where I want to be.
That's amazing. That is the perfect way to end off this episode. Thank you for coming through. I know this is going to be a special one for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I do appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, that's it.